What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. The market went crazy today. We have a lot of huge news to talk about today and some great setups for the rest of the week. Make sure to stick around to the end. Today's video is pretty great, but just take a second and look at this chart of the SPY throughout the day. It sold off a little bit at open, consolidated. After we had the FOMC, it initially fell and then just blasted to the upside. Some stocks like AI are up 12%, AMD's up 8%. We have a lot to talk about today. Make sure you stick around to the end and let us know what stocks you are watching. But with that being said, Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, apparently CNBC reports that the Fed will aggressively be dialing back their bond buying, which is a pretty big thing. And apparently they're going to see 3 rate hikes next year. And this is going to be pretty key. You know, everyone's looking at the interest rates going up sooner than expected. And with them indicating that there will be 3 of them next year, that's pretty big. I think, in my opinion, they did keep it steady, though, at 0.25% this time. But man, like you said, it created so much volatility in the markets today. And in the FOMC statement, they actually noted that, in quotes, job gains have been solid in recent months and the unemployment rate has declined substantially. So that's pretty good news to hear. And I'm glad to see that all these growth stocks and everything are going up with this. And once again, we have Big Daddy Powell keeping the markets afloat. You know, I think a lot of people were very fearful heading into this event. And, you know, of course, there was hedge plays and stuff like that in place. And I'll tell you what, he really made the market turn around in a pretty drastic way. Like, this was a very explosive, volatile move to the upside, and I'm really glad to see it. And we saw a ton of growth stocks turn around, like DraftKings, and it even sent stocks like Apple and Microsoft just soaring back up.
You know it. So I want to talk a little bit more about the basically what happened with the FOMC today. So ever since the pandemic, the Feds have been pumping the markets each month by hundreds of billions of dollars. Essentially what's happening now is the Fed is slowly stopping the pump, you can say. So they're reducing how much they're pumping the market by. In this meeting, we found out that, you know, they're really slowing down their pump, you can say. And then like Tom said, they are expected to raise rates next year. So that's gonna be pretty big. And they're kind of just warning everyone now, because if they would have just came out of nowhere next year and said, hey, we're raising rates a lot, the market would have freaked out. But what the Fed and what Powell's doing is essentially just easing the market and letting everyone know what they're going to be doing in the future. You know, they're not making any crazy moves right now. We can see, like Tom has highlighted, it says the Fed will be buying $60 billion of bonds each month starting in January. Half of the level prior to the November taper. So they're still pumping the market, but it's just a lot less in the market like that. So Tom, while we got all that out of the way, let's talk about some of the movement we saw today. I know AI was on fire. I really like that company for the long term, but there's a lot of stocks popping. So what are some of your favorite setups?
Yeah, AI had some very explosive movement. They're up 12%. They actually had some good news with General McMaster actually is joining their board, I believe. So that's pretty good to see. At least he's going to be associated with the company in some way. That stock is on fire. We have DraftKings popping. We have AMD moving to the upside. We have even some of the vaccine stocks like Pfizer went on a huge uptrend today. Even after Powell spoke, it just continued to fly up. I think some of the awesome moves were actually AMD and NVIDIA. You know, these ones really exploded. AMD ended up 8%. NVIDIA ended up like 7.9%. So, or 7.49. So that's great to see there. It popped back up above $300. So hopefully the fear with the chip stocks is gone for now. And hopefully we start to go back on this uptrend. But there was actually some good news actually with DraftKings today, which is great to hear. And with DraftKings, Goldman Sachs actually adjusted their price target to $63 from $66, Mike. And I think that was pretty good news. Initially, it didn't really help DraftKings too much early on in the morning as stocks were falling. But, you know, after the market started exploding, DraftKings started really rocketing up, ending up 3%. But that move from the low of day to the high was pretty good. I like to see the movement, and it's great to see that the price target is still pretty high. You know, like honestly, DraftKings has been falling down quite a bit. For them to only adjust that down from 66 to 63, I think shows that they still have a lot of confidence in DraftKings. And this is no small company. This is Goldman Sachs.
True that. Great point. And speaking of DraftKings, like there's just so many deals out there right now. Whether you're looking at DraftKings or AI or Corsair or Redfin or whatever, like there's so many deals. I mean, even some of the bigger stocks, like you pointed out, Tom, like AMD and Apple had an amazing day. So far, it's looking pretty good, and there's a lot of opportunities. So we're set for a pretty good week.
Yeah, we are. And I really like how you pointed out Corsair. I think they're actually forming a pretty good support down here. And it's actually right at a huge psychological level, being $20 even. I think that's actually going to be pretty good. And if we see a nice uptrend out of them tomorrow, it might indicate that this might be a pretty good bottom. So definitely eye up Corsair. I think this will be a huge one. And like I said, they almost bounced right off of $20, coming within 5 cents of that this morning.
Awesome stuff. So before we get into the momentum plays, I want to shout out our member of the day, and that is Cornish. Huge shout out to Cornish. He's an amazing member of the Discord. He's always supporting us on YouTube. He always has a lot of great information to input into the Discord, and he makes a lot of people laugh. And overall, he's just an amazing member of the Discord, and he definitely deserves a shout out. So huge thank you and huge shout out to Cornish. Thanks so much for all you do for the Stocked Up community. Tom and I really appreciate you. So great stuff there. And Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Zoom to the upside.
Yeah, and with Zoom, go ahead and make them break out above 186. That's going to be a pretty good resistance there.
There we go. With the next one, we have AI also to the upside.
Yeah, they're actually right around this $35 resistance. Just make them break above that high of day at 35.25.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Corsair also to the upside.
Yeah, Corsair was awesome. Go ahead and make them break out above, let's just say $21.81. But if they break that in pre-market, then look at 22.
Sounds good. So we are watching these three plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And let's get right into the comments from the previous video. With the first comment, we have Tapsing, any chances to have an unexpected little squeeze on Lucid? So looking at Lucid, I would say it's pretty unlikely to have a squeeze on it. Like I know there was a lot of big short squeezes this year, but it's important to understand that a lot has to go into like a full-on short squeeze. Like I know GameStop and AMC and a couple other stocks were really notable, but those events are pretty rare, and like you need a really high short float for that to happen. Lucid has been on a pretty good uptrend, and it can bounce up, but I would say it's pretty unlikely to have what I guess you could say an unexpected little short squeeze.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it would almost be better for Lucid if almost just like Wall Street Bets just started focusing on them. I think that would help them almost a lot more than a short squeeze. Obviously, the short squeeze might help Wall Street Bets focus on them a little harder, of course. But, definitely, though, I like Lucid for the long term, but I'm not looking for it with a short squeeze. I'm just honestly just looking for them to have some, some good growth and possibly some good production numbers. I think that's going to be the main things to look at for the next couple of years.
Absolutely. And Tom, I know we did have a couple comments with Lucid, so I just want to cover this one for, just like a minute or two. And with that being said, like Lucid, they have a lot of potential for growth, and they have a lot of work to do to back up their valuation. But at the end of the day, they are a very like high growth company, and what comes with that is a lot of volatility. So you're going to see huge swings with Lucid, just like what we see with DraftKings and AI and Corsair and even Tesla, right? Now, some companies just move up for the most part in a slow and steady way, like PG, like this is Procter and Gamble. Like, Procter and Gamble, if we're being realistic, they're probably not going to double in valuation in the next year. Like, yes, they will probably do well, but they're probably not going to double. Like they're a more established company where when you look at stocks like Lucid, yes, they go on crazy uptrends, but they also take a pretty big hit sometimes. So, they definitely have a lot of potential for growth, but with playing this company comes a lot of volatility.
Yeah, definitely. Whenever we're looking at Lucid for the longer term, they had some pretty good news come out this year, which was nice to see that they won Motor Trend's Car of the Year with the Lucid Air. So, I wouldn't discount them, but, definitely I will say they've been going down in the shorter term, and some good levels to look at, I think, are going to be this $36 support. We've been bouncing off of that quite a bit. I think that's going to be a pretty key level over the next few weeks. So as long as we hold 36, I think it'll be pretty good. And, like Mike said, for the longer term, expect a lot of volatility. I wouldn't be surprised if, if the market turns south, if Lucid possibly broke below 36, I just would not be surprised with all the up and down movement that can be expected.
There we go. And then we have Raymond saying, hey, Mike and Tom, do you think HOOD has more momentum to swing down? Maybe a little bit, but I really don't expect too much more damage with this one. Like, growth stocks have just been getting beaten down for months now, and they're at a point right now where they're kind of bottoming off. Like, we're just seeing in a lot of different growth companies that they're actually starting to turn around. So maybe a little bit, but I definitely wouldn't trade it off of like a potential swing down at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And what I would do is if you wanted to play it to the downside, I would not swing it down. Maybe you could like look at the all-time low of like 1789. I believe that's what it is. And yeah, 1789. And maybe if it breaks below that, you could do like a quick momentum play or something below it. But honestly, I don't think I would do that. Like Mike said, I feel like that at some point this one's going to start to come back up. And today was a pretty good turnaround day for the growth stocks. And I feel like if we see DraftKings and the rest start to pop, Robinhood might start to pop up too.
Here we go. So, Tom, with everything being said right now, I think the biggest opportunity in the market is just getting shares or long-term positions of some of these growth companies. You guys know I love DraftKings, so obviously that's a candidate, but there's a lot more out there besides DraftKings, like AI or Chewy or Corsair or Redfin. Like, there's a lot of deals out there right now. So I encourage you to go shopping if you have some stocks that you like for the long term. Odds are that they're at a pretty good level right now.
Yeah, they are. And I'm really happy to see a lot of them like Redfin turning around today. We might not be at the bottom for too much longer, guys. So, they say that you might miss the boat eventually. So like Mike said, definitely be ready to go shopping. There's a lot of awesome stocks at great levels. Some that really catch my eye that are some pretty established companies. There's stocks like PayPal, Snapchat. I mean, man, these stocks have been getting destroyed. Twitter's another one. These social media stocks are definitely, I think, at awesome levels to buy right now. Facebook's pretty decent, but the rest are honestly a little bit better. Facebook had a very explosive move back up today, though. Yeah, there's just so many stocks, like even ChargePoint, RUN, Plug. Don't forget about these like charging companies. These ones have been going down recently as well. And, they turned around today. Like Mike said, lots of awesome opportunities. I hope you guys really take this advice, because I feel like in a couple of years, you'll be pretty happy.
For sure. And if you guys trade options, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. Our bot had another pretty dang good day. So the bot has been on fire. It called out the RUN 30 strike calls at $350 today. By the end of the day, they were worth $600. So this play popped for 71% in a couple hours. Of course, the bot does not win every single play, but it does pretty dang good. We also had a play with NVIDIA that popped for 147% on December 13th. We had another play for Lucid that popped for 103%, and then we had another play with Peloton that popped for 153%, and then we had another play that with with AMD that popped for 199%. So if you trade options, definitely check out the first link in the description and the comments down below. We have a coupon running. You can cancel at any time. We have options, swing trades, day trades, some longer term plays, and just a great community. So if you want to try it out, now's the time. We have a coupon running. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.